Beloved, I have to tell you this secret about your work season, because your heart has been carrying questions you have not spoken aloud. You have smiled while wondering why the door did not open. You have kept moving while a quiet ache settled inside your spirit. You have applied, you have tried, you have prepared, you have stayed faithful when no one was clapping, and still you have looked at the path before you and whispered within yourself, "Why does it feel as though I am blocked? Why does it feel as though others are moving forward while I am standing before a wall? Why did the opportunity pass by me when I prayed over it, labored toward it, and believed that perhaps this was finally the door I had been waiting for?" I know the place where your heart became tired. I know the people you served who did not see the weight you carried. I know the assignments you completed with excellence, while your name was never mentioned. I know the meetings where your voice was overlooked, the interviews where you gave your best and still received silence, the promotion that passed by your desk and landed in another hand, the application that disappeared into quietness, and the work that drained your soul until even your strength began to feel like a borrowed thing. Nothing about that season was invisible before me. Not one hour, not one tear, not one hidden act of faithfulness. But listen deeply, beloved. The door that closed in your work season was not the verdict over your life. It was not heaven rejecting you. It was not proof that you were unworthy, behind, forgotten, or disqualified. What looked like rejection was redirection. What felt like delay was timing. What sounded like silence was protection. What seemed like a loss was preparation for an appointed place that your eyes could not yet see. I did not allow that door to close because I forgot you. I allowed it to close because I was positioning you. There are doors that appear beautiful from the outside, but behind them are burdens your soul was never meant to carry. There are tables you begged to sit at that would have required you to shrink your spirit, silence your calling, and trade peace for approval. There are opportunities that look like advancement, yet they would have pulled you into confusion, exhaustion, compromise, and a deeper sorrow than the sorrow of waiting. And because I love you, I did not let every door open. Because I see what you cannot see, I held back what your heart thought it needed. Because I know the appointed time, I allowed a closing that would one day become the first sign of mercy. As written in the book of Revelation, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. But beloved, if I open doors that no man can shut, then you must also trust me when I shut doors that no man should open. You have called it failure, but I have called it covering. You have called it being passed over, but I have called it being preserved. You have called it a blocked season, but I have called it a hidden threshold. For I was not only looking at the job, the title, the office, the income, or the approval of people. I was looking at your destiny. I was looking at the person you were becoming. I was looking at the weight of the next assignment and the strength your spirit would need to carry it with peace. So today, before you let disappointment become your identity, pause and agree with what I am speaking over you. If you are in a confusing work season, if you have felt delayed, denied, overlooked, or quietly discouraged, let this be the moment your heart stops calling protection, rejection. Like this video as an act of agreement that I am still working in what you cannot see. Subscribe for messages that strengthen your faith in the delay, because your waiting season is not empty. And if you believe your labor is not wasted, write these words with faith. God is positioning me. Beloved, do not despise the closed door. Do not build your self-worth upon the answer that did not come. Do not measure my love by the email that never arrived, the call that never came, or the position that was handed to someone else. I am still your provider. I am still your guide. I am still the one ordering your steps. The closed door was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of a deeper alignment. It was the first movement of my hand, drawing you away from what could not carry your future and bringing you closer to the place prepared for you before you even knew how to ask. Beloved, I saw every hidden hour you worked without applause. I saw the mornings when you rose while the room was still dark, carrying responsibilities before your body felt ready and before your heart had found strength for another day. I saw the late nights when you stayed awake, finishing what others would later benefit from, the unpaid effort you gave because your spirit still believed in excellence, the sacrifices no one thanked you for, the quiet ways you kept showing up, even when something inside you wanted to sit down and weep. I saw the difficult coworker who tested your patience. I saw the unfair manager whose words pierced deeper than they knew. I saw the moment you walked to your car after work, closed the door, placed your hands on the steering wheel, and let tears fall where no one could hear them. Do not think that because people did not notice, heaven did not record it. Do not think that because your name was not mentioned, your faithfulness was not precious before me. I did not measure your labor by the applause in the room. I did not measure your worth by the title beside your name, the salary attached to your position, the visibility of your role, or the recognition withheld by human eyes. I measured the posture of your heart. I measured the obedience you carried when obedience felt costly. I measured the kindness you chose when frustration would have been easier. I measured the integrity you kept when no one was watching. Heaven does not count the way people count, beloved. People look at status, speed, and outward advancement, but I look at the hidden altar of faithfulness within you. I know the anxiety that has tried to speak over your career. I know the thoughts that came quietly in the night, asking whether you chose the wrong path, whether you missed my voice, whether you should have gone another way, whether you fell behind while others seemed to rise faster, farther, and with less resistance. I know how it felt to watch someone else step into what you prayed for, while you were still trying to understand why your own door remained shut. I know the ache of comparison that came upon you like a shadow, not because you wanted to envy anyone, but because your own waiting became heavy. And still I say to you, your life is not behind my timing. Your path has not escaped my hand. Your season has not been misplaced. Every rejection email, every delayed answer, every resume sent into silence, every interview that stirred hope and then ended without a call, every prayer whispered over bills, every deep breath before walking into a hard workplace, every moment you chose not to quit, when quitting seemed easier, every act of obedience in a place that did not honor you, all of it has been seen by me. Every hour you served with a tired soul, every time you encouraged someone while needing encouragement yourself, every time you gave your best even after being overlooked, every time you swallowed your pain and chose wisdom instead of bitterness, nothing was wasted, nothing was lost, nothing faithful has fallen to the ground unseen. As written in the book of Hebrews, God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love. Those words were not written only for another people in another time. They are for you as well today. I have not forgotten the labor you offered when no one applauded. I have not forgotten the excellence you carried in the unseen place. I have not forgotten the tears you tried to hide because you thought strength meant never breaking. Beloved, strength was not proven by the absence of tears. Strength was proven when you kept trusting me through them. So hear me now. You are not your position. You are not your paycheck. You are not the opinion of the room that failed to recognize your value. You are not the silence of the employer who never replied. You are not the title that did not come. You are mine. I called you before any workplace could name you. I placed worth upon you before any person could approve you. I formed gifts within you before any system could evaluate them. And what I placed within you cannot be erased by one closed door, one hard season, or one voice that did not understand the treasure standing before them. Beloved, the hidden place has not been punishment. It has been preparation. The work no one saw was not empty. The faithfulness no one celebrated was not forgotten. I have been gathering every quiet act, every unseen sacrifice, every obedient step, and I have been using them beneath the surface of your life. For many times, before I reveal fruit, I build roots. Before I lift a branch into the light, I strengthen what is buried in the soil, and this is what I have been doing in you. Beloved, now listen deeply, because this is the secret your weary heart must receive. The delay in your work season has not been empty. It has not been a barren field. It has not been a forgotten hallway where your prayers were left unanswered. The delay has been training your capacity. I have been enlarging the inner room of your soul before allowing you to step into a door that will require more than talent. It will require maturity. It will require steadiness. It will require discernment when voices around you become loud. It will require humility when favor begins to rest upon your life. It will require peace under pressure, wisdom under responsibility, and a heart that does not lose me when the assignment becomes visible. You thought the door was blocked because something was wrong with you, but I was building something within you. You thought the pause meant I was withholding goodness, but I was strengthening the vessel that would carry it. I did not delay you to punish you. I delayed certain things because I loved you enough to prepare you for what you prayed for. I did not hold back every opportunity because I was against you. I held back some opportunities because if they had arrived before the proper time, they would have placed weight upon your shoulders that your inner structure was not yet ready to bear. The gift was real, beloved. The calling was real. The promise was real. But the roots were still forming beneath the soil. Sacred things always grow in hidden depths before they rise to the surface. A seed does not become a tree because it is seen. A seed becomes a tree because, in the darkness, where no eye applauds it and no hand praises it, it yields to the hidden work of becoming rooted. The seed cannot accuse the soil of being a grave when the soil is actually becoming the place where roots are born. And so it is with you. You have looked at this covered season and wondered if your dream was buried. But I tell you, what has been buried in me is not dead, it is being rooted. What has been hidden from the eyes of people has been developing strength in the secret place. What has not yet risen above the surface has not been lost beneath it. There were things you wanted quickly that would have crushed you if they came too soon. There were rooms you wanted to enter before your spirit had learned how to remain anchored when people praised you in one moment and questioned you in the next. There were responsibilities you asked for before your heart had learned how to separate your identity from your performance. There were platforms, positions, promotions, and open doors that looked desirable, yet they carried battles you could not see. Had I given them to you too early, you may have called it blessing at first, but later you would have felt overwhelmed, confused, exposed, and weary in places where you should have been fruitful. So I trained you in hiddenness. I taught you endurance where no one was watching. I taught you patience when the answer was slow. I taught you wisdom through disappointing rooms. I taught you discernment through closed doors. I taught you humility in seasons where you had to serve without being celebrated. Remember Joseph. He carried a dream, but the first place that received him was not a palace, it was a pit. Then he entered Potiphar's house, not as a ruler, but as a servant. Then he entered a prison, not because his calling was false, but because the path of preparation did not look like the promise he had seen. To the natural eye, his work life looked like demotion after demotion. A gifted man was overlooked. A faithful man was accused. A capable man was confined. A dreamer was placed in environments that seemed opposite to the dream. Yet I was not wasting one step. In Potiphar's house, I was teaching him stewardship. In the prison, I was teaching him administration, patience, interpretation, and faithfulness under unjust conditions. Before Joseph managed the resources of Egypt, he had to learn how to manage responsibility in hidden places. Before he could stand before Pharaoh, he had to learn how to remain faithful when no one with power remembered his name. As written in Genesis, "What others meant for evil, I turned for good," and those words are not only for Joseph, they are for you as well. What others handled unfairly, I can turn for good. What was spoken against you, I can turn for good. What was delayed without explanation, I can turn for good. What was denied, overlooked, misunderstood, or mishandled in your workplace, I can gather into a purpose greater than the pain it caused. I know the manager who did not value you. I know the coworker who wounded you. I know the decision that seemed unjust. I know the system that failed to see your labor, but none of it is stronger than my hand. None of it can overrule my appointed time. None of it can cancel the wisdom I have been forming in you through it. Beloved, do not despise the training because it came disguised as delay. Do not reject the preparation because it did not feel like progress. Many of the lessons that will sustain you in the next door were learned in the place you wanted to escape. You learned how to keep your spirit clean when the atmosphere was heavy. You learned how to pray before reacting. You learned how to continue when motivation was gone. You learned how to serve without surrendering your dignity. You learned how to hear my voice when human affirmation was absent. These are not small things. These are the hidden beams that will hold the house of your next assignment. So today, let your heart stop calling this season wasted. Let your soul stop measuring progress only by visible movement. Roots move downward before branches move upward. Foundations are laid before walls are seen. Oil is formed through pressing. Gold is refined through fire. And capacity is enlarged through seasons where you must trust me without immediate evidence. I am not only preparing a place for you, I am preparing you for the place. I am not only arranging the door, I am strengthening the one who will walk through it. And now, beloved, understand this also. If delay has been preparation, then the pressure you are beginning to feel is not your enemy. The restlessness, the holy discomfort, the sense that the old place no longer fits the person you are becoming, this is not always a sign that something has gone wrong. Many times, it is the signal that transition is near. The same soil that held the seed begins to break when the root system is ready. The same hidden place that trained you cannot contain you forever. And when the pressure increases, do not panic. Listen, watch, pray, for I may be showing you that the season of hidden training is giving way to movement, and the door that once seemed distant is drawing closer to its appointed time. Beloved, the pressure you feel in your work life is not always a sign that you are walking in the wrong direction. Many times, that very pressure is my hand loosening you from what can no longer carry your calling. I know the burnout that has settled into your bones. I know the restlessness that follows you even after the workday ends. I know the repeated conflicts that have made your spirit weary, the lack of peace that no longer leaves when you leave the building, the boredom that has entered tasks you once performed with joy, and the sudden discomfort in places that once felt secure. You have wondered why what used to fit now feels tight. You have wondered why the familiar place now feels heavy. You have wondered why your soul keeps whispering, something is changing, something is shifting, something here is no longer the same. Do not ignore that whisper. Do not treat every holy discomfort as rebellion. Do not call transition confusion simply because it has disturbed your routine. There are seasons when I allow the old place to lose its comfort because, if it remained comfortable, you would settle there long after grace had begun moving you forward. There are rooms you would never leave if they continued to feed your sense of safety. There are patterns you would never question if they remained predictable. There are assignments you would continue carrying even after their purpose in your life had been fulfilled, because your heart has learned how to endure what is familiar, even when the familiar is slowly draining your strength. But listen deeply, beloved. There is a difference between fear and holy unrest. Fear rushes into your mind with panic, confusion, dread, and the voice that says, run now, decide now, force something now, prove yourself now. Fear makes your hands tremble and your thoughts scatter. Fear tries to make you move from anxiety instead of obedience. But holy unrest is different. Holy unrest does not destroy your peace. It calls your attention. It makes you pray deeper. It makes you listen more carefully. It makes you prepare wisely. It does not push you into frantic striving. It draws you into discernment. It says, watch what I am showing you. Notice what no longer carries grace. Notice what I have been closing. Notice where I am giving light for the next step. Remember the children of Israel. Before they walked toward promise, they first became weary in bondage. Egypt was familiar, but it was not freedom. Egypt had structure, but it was not destiny. Egypt had predictability, but it was not peace. And when the weight of bondage became too heavy, their cry rose before me. Their discomfort was not the end of their story. It was the sound of transition beginning. I did not allow them to become uncomfortable because I had forgotten them. I allowed the discomfort to reveal that they were not created to remain where oppression had named them. As written in the book of Exodus, I heard their groaning, and I remembered my covenant. Beloved, I hear your groaning also. I hear what your mouth has not fully explained. I hear the sigh beneath your professionalism. I hear the ache beneath your productivity. I hear the cry beneath your silence. So, do not romanticize the old place simply because it is familiar. Do not look back at what drained you and call it peace because you knew how to survive there. Do not confuse predictability with my presence. Do not confuse a steady routine with divine alignment. There are places that feel secure only because you have learned how to manage the pain. There are doors you keep standing beside because the unknown feels more frightening than the bondage you have adjusted to. But I did not call you to worship what is familiar. I called you to follow my voice. I called you to walk by faith. I called you to trust that when I begin loosening your grip, it is not to leave you empty-handed, but to make room for what I am placing before you. And now, beloved, pay attention. The pressure is asking you to discern. Which doors have I already closed in mercy? Which doors are you still trying to force because disappointment made you afraid to release them? Which doors are not opening because they were never assigned to your future? And which door requires obedient movement even before you understand the whole path? This is not the time to panic, but it is also not the time to sleep. Pray, listen, prepare. Let your heart become honest before me. The pressure is not here to destroy you. It is here to awaken you. It is here to loosen you. It is here to keep you from settling in Egypt when I am leading you toward promise. Beloved, stop forcing doors I have already closed in mercy. Stop standing before a threshold that I have covered in silence, pleading for it to open, as though my love is measured by that one answer. Stop begging for the job that did not call you back, the promotion that passed over you, the client that kept delaying, the relationship that kept draining, the opportunity that looked beautiful from a distance, but carried a weight your spirit was never meant to carry. I know you wanted it. I know you prayed over it. I know you imagined yourself walking into it and finally feeling as though the long season of waiting had meaning. But there are moments when my protection will feel like denial before it is understood as mercy. I did not close that door because you were unworthy. I closed it because what stood behind it was not worthy of what I placed within you. I saw the hidden culture before you entered the room. I saw the exhaustion that would have wrapped itself around your soul. I saw the values you would have been pressured to compromise. I saw the smiles that would have welcomed you, while slowly requiring you to become someone I never called you to be. I saw the unseen trap behind what looked attractive. I saw the cost that was not written in the offer, the burden that was not named in the conversation, the spiritual heaviness that would have followed you home and sat beside you, even in the quiet hours of the night. You saw a door. I saw what waited behind it. Do not keep trying to resurrect what I have mercifully ended. Do not keep refreshing the memory, replaying the interview, rehearsing the conversation, wondering what you could have said differently, what you could have done better, how you might have made them choose you, as though human rejection has final authority over my appointment. Bless what did not choose you. Release what did not recognize you. Let go of the room that could not discern the treasure I placed within you. This does not mean you must carry bitterness. It means you must stop giving your peace to a decision I have already overruled by my wisdom. Remember David in the wilderness. He was anointed, yet he was not immediately enthroned. Oil had touched his head, but the crown had not yet rested upon him. He carried a promise, yet he still walked through caves, danger, misunderstanding, and delay. And when Saul was placed within his reach, David did not seize the throne through destruction. He did not force open a door by harming the one who stood before him. He refused to make panic look like obedience. He refused to let pressure turn him into someone outside my will. He waited for my appointed time. As written in the book of Samuel, David said he would not stretch forth his hand against the Lord's anointed. Beloved, this was not weakness. This was trust. This was a heart refusing to force what only I was meant to establish. And so it is with you. Do not take in your own hands what I have asked you to surrender into mine. Do not manipulate, chase, beg, or diminish yourself to enter a place where grace is not opening the way. If I have shut it, let it remain shut. If I have gone silent over it, do not fill that silence with frantic striving. If I have removed your peace, pay attention. My closed doors are not cruelty. Many times, they are walls of fire around your future. So today, release the door that has become an idol of your disappointment. Release the name, the title, the position, the company, the client, the pathway you thought had to be the one. Let your hands open without resentment. Let your heart surrender without accusation. For once you stop forcing what I have closed, you will begin to hear more clearly what I am saying next. The noise of striving will grow quiet. The grief of rejection will loosen its grip. And in that holy stillness, I will show you the next step, not always the whole staircase, not always the full map, but the light you need for the path that is truly assigned to you. Beloved, your calling is not confined to one job title. Do not let confusion enter your heart simply because the place where you are standing does not look like the promise I placed within you. Do not assume that because your current work does not match the dream exactly, I am not moving. Do not believe that because your education, your gifts, your prayers, your prophetic words, and your secret desires seem larger than the chair you sit in now, the season has no purpose. I know the ache of feeling misplaced. I know the heaviness that comes when your hands are doing one thing while your spirit senses you were formed for something more. I know how it feels when the work in front of you seems smaller than the fire I placed inside you. But listen deeply. A job can be an assignment without being your final identity. A role can be a training ground without being your whole calling. A workplace can be a field where I provide, shape, humble, strengthen, and teach you without becoming the full definition of who you are. Do not make the mistake of measuring eternal purpose by a temporary title. Do not let a company badge, a desk, a schedule, a uniform, a department, a contract, or a position become the boundary line around what I have spoken over your life. Beloved, before any company knew your name, I called you mine. Before any system reviewed your resume, I formed your gifts. Before any workplace decided where to place you, I placed my hand upon your life. You are not less called because you are in a season of ordinary work. You are not forgotten because your days include tasks that feel repetitive, unnoticed, or far from the vision you once carried with joy. There are sacred things I form through simple obedience. There is patience I develop through waiting. There is excellence I teach through small responsibilities. There is integrity I prove in hidden decisions. There is stewardship I mature through limited resources. There is communication I refine through difficult conversations. There is humility I grow when you must serve without being celebrated. There is courage I awaken when you must speak truth with grace. There is compassion I deepen when you work among weary people and still choose tenderness. Remember Joseph. Before he stood in the palace interpreting Pharaoh's dream, he served in prison. He did not wear the title that matched his destiny, yet I was still forming the man who could carry it. Prison did not cancel his calling, it trained his character. The place of confinement became a school of wisdom. The place of being overlooked became a place where his gift still served others. And when the appointed time came, the gift that had been faithful in the hidden place was brought before the throne. As written in Genesis, Joseph was brought hastily out of the dungeon, and he stood before Pharaoh. Beloved, one moment of my timing can gather years of preparation into purpose. Remember Ruth. She did not begin in a place that looked like honor. She gleaned in a field, bending low to gather what was left behind. To human eyes, it may have looked like survival, not destiny. It may have looked like poverty, not promise. Yet in that field, I was writing a redemptive story larger than she could see. Her faithfulness in the ordinary place became part of a lineage of promise. Her loyalty, humility, and courage mattered before the story was visible. And so it is with you. Do not despise the field where you are gleaning. Do not despise the work that feels beneath the fullness of what I have shown you. I can hide destiny in a field. I can place divine appointment in ordinary ground. Remember Esther. She was hidden before she stood before the king. She passed through preparation before she entered the moment of courage. The palace did not create her purpose. It revealed what I had been forming in secret. And when the appointed time came, her position became more than advancement. It became deliverance for others. As written in the book of Esther, who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Beloved, I am forming you for such a time also, but you must allow me to form the vessel before I display the assignment. So do not curse the work in your hands. Let even the ordinary become an altar. Let the emails you send be touched with diligence. Let the meetings you enter be carried with wisdom. Let the caregiving, the cleaning, the building, the leading, the teaching, the selling, the studying, the serving, the organizing, the waiting, and the unseen helping become offerings before me. When done with faithfulness, even small tasks rise like incense. When done with integrity, even common labor becomes holy ground. I do not only meet you in sanctuaries. I meet you at desks, counters, classrooms, kitchens, hospitals, offices, shops, fields, roads, and quiet rooms where no one sees how much strength it takes for you to continue. Beloved, I am not asking you to worship your job. I am asking you to honor the assignment while remembering that your identity is deeper than it. I am not asking you to shrink your calling down to your current title. I am asking you to let me use this title, this season, this place, and this daily labor to shape the person who can carry the next door with grace. For if you cannot serve with faithfulness in what feels small, the larger thing will not heal the restlessness in you. If your worth depends on visibility now, visibility later will become a burden instead of a blessing. But when you know you are mine, you can serve in hiddenness without losing yourself, and you can rise into greater responsibility without being ruled by it. So today, stop demanding the whole map before you obey the next step. Ask me for the next faithful movement. Ask me what integrity looks like today. Ask me what excellence looks like today. Ask me what door to release, what skill to sharpen, what conversation to have, what fear to surrender, what seed to plant, and what light to follow. Because calling is larger than a title, you do not need to understand every future room before you obey me in this one. Let your heart become quiet. Let your hands become faithful. Let your spirit remain attentive. I am using the present assignment to form the one who will carry the next one. And when the appointed door opens, you will understand that I was not only preparing work for you, I was preparing you for the work. So today, beloved, stop demanding the whole future before you obey the light already in your hand. I am not asking you to understand every road, every interview, every meeting, every provision, every connection, and every door before you take the next step. I am asking you to obey what I have already made clear. I am asking you to move with the measure of light I have already given. For many times the path does not become brighter while you stand still in fear. Many times the path becomes brighter as your feet begin to follow me. Do not confuse faith with the need to know everything. Faith is not the absence of questions. Faith is the surrender of your movement to my voice, even while questions remain. I have not called you to frantic striving, and I have not called you to frozen waiting. There is a holy obedience that is neither panic nor passivity. It is quiet movement. It is steady preparation. It is the heart saying yes before the eyes can see the entire staircase. It is the soul choosing to trust that if I gave the light for this step, I will also give the light for the next. Beloved, update what must be updated. Prepare the resume you have delayed touching because disappointment made it painful to hope again. Apply with peace, not with desperation. Study the skill I have placed before you again and again. Make the call your spirit already knows must be made. Send the message. Gather the documents. Ask the question. Begin the course. Leave the toxic pattern that keeps draining your strength and calling it loyalty. Rest when I command you to rest. Because obedience is not always movement outward. Sometimes obedience is receiving the stillness that restores your soul. Stop delaying the step that has already been confirmed in prayer, not because you are rebellious in your heart, but because fear has dressed itself as caution and grief has dressed itself as wisdom. I know you want a sign so clear that no trembling remains. I know you want the assurance that every door will open easily, every person will understand, every detail will align before you begin. But listen deeply. There are some confirmations that will not come while you keep asking from the shore. Some clarity comes as your feet touch the water. Some strength rises only when obedience begins. Some provision is released along the road, not before you start walking. I do not ask you to move because you have mastered the future. I ask you to move because I am Lord over the future you cannot master. Remember Peter, he saw me walking upon the water while the wind was contrary and the boat was shaken by the waves. He did not step into calm conditions. He stepped toward me in the middle of what looked impossible. As spoken in the Gospel of Matthew, he said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. And I said, Come. Beloved, the water did not become a stone path before he obeyed. The storm did not disappear before he lifted his foot. The certainty did not arrive before the movement. He stepped because my word was enough to begin. And so it is with you. You may be waiting for the whole sea to become solid before you obey, but I am calling you to trust the word I have already spoken. The application may feel like water beneath your feet. The conversation may feel like water beneath your feet. The transition may feel like water beneath your feet. The decision to release what is familiar may feel like water beneath your feet. Yet, if I have said come, then your safety is not in the surface beneath you, but in the one who called you. Your security is not in the absence of wind, but in my presence before you. Fear began to rule Peter when his eyes left me and turned toward the storm. The waves were real, but they were not greater than my voice. The wind was loud, but it was not stronger than my hand. And when he began to sink, I did not abandon him for trembling. I stretched forth my hand. Beloved, hear me now. Your past mistakes have not disqualified you from obedience. The lost years have not removed you from my plan. The failed interviews have not closed every future door. The seasons of confusion have not made you unusable. The wrong turns, delayed decisions, missed opportunities, and moments when fear ruled your choices are not greater than my mercy. I am able to redeem time. I am able to teach wisdom. I am able to steady the feet that once trembled. Do not remain standing outside the door I am opening because you are still grieving the door I closed. Do not let old rejection become the chain around your obedience. Do not let one unanswered application become a prophecy over your future. Do not let one painful workplace teach you to expect pain everywhere. Do not let one season of being overlooked convince you that I have overlooked you also. I am not asking you to pretend that it did not hurt. I am asking you to stop letting the hurt decide whether you obey. So today, move with trust, not with the haste of fear, but with the steadiness of faith, not to prove your worth, but because you know your worth is already held in me, not to force a door, but to answer the light, not to chase what I have closed, but to walk toward what I am beginning to reveal. Let your yes become simple again. Let your obedience become clean again. Let your heart stop negotiating with fear when your spirit already knows the next faithful step. For the next door will not require perfect certainty, but it will require obedience. It will require a heart willing to move when I give light, even if the full path is still hidden. It will require you to stop calling hesitation wisdom when I have already given peace. It will require you to trust that appointed timing is not served by anxious control, but by faithful readiness. As written in Psalm, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path." A lamp does not show every mile ahead. It gives light for the step before you, and when you obey that step, you position your heart to recognize the next one. Beloved, your appointed time will begin to unfold in ways you did not plan, through paths you did not expect, and through doors you could not have forced open by your own strength. But obedience keeps your spirit awake. Obedience keeps your hands ready. Obedience trains your eyes to notice the dawn when it begins to break. So walk forward in the light you have. Prepare in the light you have. Release in the light you have. Rest in the light you have. Apply, study, ask, surrender, forgive, and begin in the light you have. I will meet you there. I will guide you there. And as you obey, you will discover that the next door was not waiting for your perfect understanding. It was waiting for your faithful yes. Beloved, your appointed time will not always look like the path you expected. I know you imagine the next season arriving through a clear promotion, a public announcement, a door everyone could recognize, a straight road from where you are to where you hope to be. But I am not limited to the routes your mind has rehearsed. I may use one conversation in a hallway, one forgotten connection from years ago, one quiet recommendation spoken when you were not in the room, one small assignment you almost dismissed, one side skill you thought was only a hobby, one overlooked place that others passed by to open what no human strength could force open. Do not despise small beginnings when my breath is upon them. Do not overlook the simple doorway because it does not arrive dressed in the image you imagined. Sometimes the appointed time enters quietly before it becomes visible. Dawn does not begin by flooding the whole sky at once. It begins as a thin line of light on the edge of darkness. At first, it may seem too small to matter. At first, it may not change the whole landscape. But that thin line is still the announcement that night is losing its hold. And so it is with you. The small shift, the sudden peace, the unexpected message, the unfinished idea returning to your heart, the invitation that seems ordinary, the burden to prepare again, the new courage rising in your spirit. These may be the first lines of dawn. Remember Esther. She did not understand every hidden preparation while she was walking through it. She did not see the whole story while she was being positioned. She did not know all the lives that would be touched by her courage before the moment came. Yet what looked like preparation, waiting, favor, and pressure was gathering into one appointed hour. As written in the book of Esther, "Who knoweth whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" Beloved, there is such a time over your life also. There is a moment where what seems scattered begins to gather. There is a door where the hidden labor, the tears, the closed doors, the delays, the pressure, and the obedience all begin to speak one language. So, do not compare your appointed time to another person's visible success. Do not let someone else's promotion make you despise the pace I have chosen for you. Do not let another person's salary, business growth, public recognition, platform, title, or open door become a sword against your own soul. Their timing is not your timing. Their assignment is not your assignment. Their harvest does not cancel your seed. Comparison will make you call my wisdom slow. It will make you look at your own field with contempt when I am watering roots beneath the soil. I did not ask you to measure your calling by another person's calendar. I asked you to trust me with yours. As written in Ecclesiastes, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Beloved, this includes your work. This includes your career movement. This includes the door you have prayed about, the calling you have carried, the skill you have sharpened in silence, and the place where your name has not yet been spoken. There is a time to stay and a time to move, a time to learn and a time to lead, a time to serve in hiddenness and a time to be entrusted with greater responsibility, a time to release what is ended and a time to step into what I am opening. Nothing has been random. The delay was not wasted. The pressure was not meaningless. The closed door was not cruelty. The hidden labor was not invisible. The obedience was not small before me. I have been weaving one divine pattern while you were trying to understand separate fragments. And when the door opens, walk through it with humility and light. Do not carry only ambition. Carry compassion. Carry wisdom. Carry remembrance. For I am not positioning you merely to rise above others, but to become a blessing among them. Beloved, I am not raising you only for your own advancement. I know you have prayed for provision, and I have heard you. I know you have asked for stability, for open doors, for better work, for fair compensation, for a place where your gifts can breathe without being crushed beneath confusion and heaviness. I know you have longed to be seen after being overlooked, honored after being dismissed, trusted after being doubted, and remembered after seasons when your name seemed to be hidden. But listen deeply. The next season is not only about you being lifted, it is also about my light being carried through you. I am not ashamed to bless you. I am not against your increase. I am not withholding good things because humility requires lack. As written in Deuteronomy, it is I who giveth thee power to get wealth, that my covenant may be established. Provision can be holy when it remains surrendered. Advancement can be holy when it remains obedient. Promotion can be holy when it does not become your master. But I do not raise my children merely so they can be seen, paid, promoted, applauded, or proven right before those who misunderstood them. I raise them so that where darkness has grown familiar, light may enter. I raise them so that where fear has become the language of a workplace, peace may speak through their presence. I raise them so that where people have forgotten integrity, mercy, patience, and courage, someone marked by my Spirit will stand. I desire for your life to become a lamp in rooms where others have forgotten how to hope. I desire for your words to carry steadiness into anxious teams. I desire for your decisions to protect those who are vulnerable. I desire for your endurance to comfort someone who is secretly ready to give up. I desire for your testimony to awaken faith in another soul who believes their own delay means they have been abandoned. The wound you survived in one workplace can become wisdom in another. The rejection that once broke your confidence can become compassion for someone trembling under the same pain. The season where you were treated unfairly can teach you to lead without crushing others. The years when you had to keep showing up without applause can make you gentle with people whose strength is almost gone. Do not despise what I have healed in you. Healed wounds are not wasted wounds. They become wells. They become bread. They become oil poured out for someone else's weary spirit. Remember Joseph. When he was raised from prison into authority, the story was not merely that Joseph received a better position. The story was that many lives were preserved through the wisdom I had formed in him during the hidden years. As written in Genesis, he said, God did send me before you to preserve life. Beloved, do you see now? The palace was not only reward, it was responsibility. The open door was not only elevation, it was service. So when I open the next door, do not enter it, carrying only the hunger to prove that you were right. Do not let your first desire be to make others regret how they treated you. Do not use advancement as a throne for wounded pride. Let me heal the part of you that wants visibility more than obedience. Let me cleanse the ambition that has been mixed with pain. I am not condemning your desire to grow. I am teaching you how to carry growth without bowing to it. Work diligently, but do not worship work. Pursue excellence, but do not let achievement become the altar of your identity. Receive promotion, but do not let promotion tell you who you are. Before the door opens, you are mine. After the door opens, you are still mine. As spoken in the Gospel of Matthew, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on an hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Beloved, your house includes more than your private life. It includes the places where I send you, the people who sit near you, the teams that feel your spirit, the communities touched by your decisions, the homes strengthened by your provision, and the weary souls who will learn through your life that I still restore, still guide, still provide, and still open doors at the appointed time. So today, let your heart become ready for a higher purpose than personal vindication. Release fear, release selfish striving, release the need to turn every blessing into a trophy. Receive my timing, receive my formation, receive the peace that comes when you know your work season is held in my hands. Speak faith over the door before you see it fully open. Speak surrender over the delay before you understand it completely. Speak light over the rooms you have not yet entered. For I am changing your work season, but I am also making you a witness. I am placing oil in your lamp. I am preparing your steps. And when you walk into what I have appointed, you will not only carry skill, you will carry my character. Beloved, walk through the door with peace, not panic. Your work season is not cursed. It is not forgotten. It is not wasted. It is not late. It is being ordered by my hand, even in the places where your eyes have not yet seen the full arrangement. I know the calendar has felt heavy. I know the waiting has felt long. I know the closed doors have whispered lies to your heart, saying you missed your moment, saying you are behind, saying others have moved ahead while you remain standing in the same place. But I speak over you now with tenderness and authority. You are not behind my timing. You are not outside my care. You are not abandoned in your labor. Your steps are being established. Your heart is being prepared. Your provision is being arranged, and the next door will open at the appointed time. So now, beloved, let your soul become still before me. Release the bitterness you have carried over the doors that closed. Release the anger over the opportunity that did not choose you, the workplace that did not value you, the interview that never called back, the promotion that passed over you, the business plan that did not unfold as quickly as you hoped. Place it all into my hands. Release the fear over money, the fear over bills, the fear over responsibilities, the fear that provision will not arrive in time. Release the shame over delay, for delay has never changed your worth before me. Release the confusion over calling, for I am able to guide a surrendered heart step by step. Release the anxiety over the future, for the future that frightens you is already held by the one who loves you. And pray with me now from the quiet place of your spirit. Father, I surrender this work season into your hands. I surrender every closed door I did not understand, every disappointment I tried to hide, every fear I carried in silence, every anxious thought about provision, every wound from being overlooked, and every place where my ambition became mixed with pain. Cleanse my heart, make my motives pure. Teach me to desire open doors that honor you, not doors that feed my pride. Teach me to move with obedience, not desperation. Teach me to rest without guilt and work without worshiping work. Let my identity be rooted in your love and not in my title, salary, visibility, position, or approval from people. Lord, give me discernment. Show me which doors I must stop forcing. Show me what I have been trying to resurrect when you have already closed it in mercy. Show me which skills to strengthen, which gifts to steward, which habits to surrender, which relationships to honor, and which conversations must be carried with wisdom. Reveal the next step, even if it is small. Give me courage to obey the light I already have. If I must apply, help me apply with peace. If I must wait, help me wait with faith. If I must study, help me study with diligence. If I must leave what has become harmful, give me courage without bitterness. If I must remain for a season, give me grace without despair. Father, I ask for provision and positioning. Open doors that no man can shut. Close doors that would distract me, drain me, flatter me, or lead me away from your purpose. Protect me from opportunities that look good to the eye, but are not sent by you. Give me favor with the right people, not merely powerful people, but appointed people. Let my name be remembered in rooms where it needs to be remembered. Let my work speak with excellence. Let my spirit carry peace. Let wise timing surround my movement. Let peaceful courage rise in me, so I do not run ahead in fear and do not stay behind in unbelief. Position me where my gifts can serve, where my character can stand, where my provision can increase, and where my life can become light for others. As written in Revelation, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. Beloved, when I open what is appointed, you will not need to break it down in panic. You will not need to manipulate your way into it. You will not need to prove your worth before entering it. You will walk through with humility, readiness, gratitude, and peace. The door I open will require obedience, but it will not require you to abandon your soul. The blessing I send will carry responsibility, but it will not require you to become a stranger to my presence. I am your provider before the door opens. I am your keeper after the door opens. I am your peace in the hallway, your strength at the threshold, and your wisdom in the room. So today, make this declaration with faith. Write it where your heart can see it. Speak it where fear has been loud. And if this word is bearing witness in your spirit, place it in the comments as a public act of surrender and trust. My work season is in God's hands. Let those words become more than a sentence. Let them become a boundary against panic. Let them become a testimony against fear. Let them become a seed of faith planted in the very soil where anxiety once grew. Beloved, share this message with someone who is discouraged in their career, someone who has been wounded by a closed door, someone who feels delayed, uncertain, or forgotten in their work season. Subscribe for more faith-filled guidance through seasons of transition, waiting, obedience, and appointed movement. Like this video if this message helped you release workplace anxiety and receive my peace again. And leave your prayer request in the comments for your job, your business, your calling, your interview, your promotion, or your next step, because you are not walking through this season alone. Now receive my peace. Receive my timing. Receive my protection. Receive my provision. Receive the courage to move when I say move, and the grace to wait when I say wait. Your work season is in my hands. Your next door is not lost. Your appointed time is not forgotten. Walk forward with peace, not panic. I am ordering your steps, and I will be with you as you enter what I have prepared.